Hello everyone. In this video, we will be discussing the properties of real numbers. Okay. We know that the two operators, that is addition and multiplication, these are two important operators that we use for the real numbers. So now we are going to work on this. We will see the properties related to this. So the two operator, like first is addition, okay, which is also called as sum, denoted by plus sign, and multiplication. Sometimes we call it as product, okay, represented by dot. Mostly we are going to use these two representation for addition and multiplication respectively. So what does the closure property says? So to understand this, let's see. If you take two numbers, say 5 and 9, okay, what will happen? If you add 5 and 9, what happens? What you will get? 14. 5 is a real number? Yes. 9 is also a real number. And what you got? 14. Again, a real number. All being integers. So what we saw, if we take any two real numbers, their sum is also a real number. So we say that if A and B are any two real numbers, then their sum, or you can say addition, A plus B, addition of A and B is also a real number. Okay. Similarly, if you multiply 5 with 9, what you will get? 45, which is again a real number. So we can say that even the product of two real numbers, A and B, is a real number. So for this, since it's not true only for 5 and 9, if you take any two numbers, say for instance, suppose you pick another two numbers, say minus 7 and say 2. If you multiply them, what you get? Minus 14, which is a real number. If you add them, what you get? Minus 7 plus 2. You get minus 5, which is again an integer, a real number. So it is true for any two real numbers. So we say that the closure property says that the sum and the product of two real numbers is also a real number. So we say that real numbers are closed under addition and subs and multiplication. So I'll use addition for plus and multiplication. Okay, this is the closure property, property number one. The second property is commutative property. Again, we are going to study this for operator of addition and multiplication. So to understand this property, suppose you take two numbers, say 2 and 3, two real numbers. What happens if you multiply 2 with 3? Yes, what you will get? 6. Okay. What if you multiply 3 with 2? Again, you get the same answer. So, what does it mean? It doesn't matter you multiply 2 with 3 or 3 with 2. You get the same answer, same result. So, the order is immaterial. Similarly, if you add 2 with 3, what you get? 5. If you add 3 with 2, again you get 5. So, it doesn't matter what is the order, you always get the same result, like you are doing 2 plus 3 or 3 plus 2. So what it means, if you change the position, the result remains same. The result is same. Here 5. Here also the result remains same. It doesn't matter if you change the position. Let's see what happens if we have a negative number. Suppose we take one of the integer as minus 2 and another real number, say 5. Does this change or it will remain same? So let's see. If we say minus 2 multiply 5, what we get? Minus 10. correct? Okay, let's see. 5 multiply, since it's minus 2, we put it in a bracket. Okay, sometimes it's written as 5 bracket minus 2 because bracket means multiplication. So how do we multiply? We multiply the numbers 5 and 2, which is 10, and the sign, there is only one sign, so it's minus. So it doesn't matter like how we are multiplying. So minus 2 times 5 or 5 times minus 2 is same, giving you the same result. Let's see what happens if we add them. Minus 2 plus 5 gives you, yes, we have two numbers, signs are opposite, so we subtract them. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Now, which is the bigger number? 5. The sign is positive, so we get plus 3. If we do 5 plus minus 2, what we get? This will be 5 plus minus gives you minus 2. So how much is 5 minus 2? 3. So again, what we observed here, minus 2 plus 5 is same as 5 minus 2, giving you the same result as 3. So yes, it is. All these examples shows that this example 1, 2, 3, and 4. These four examples gives you the commutative property, which states that if you have two real numbers a and b, any two real numbers, okay, then what you have, the first result, the commutative property for addition says that a plus b is same as b plus a. And the second says that a multiply b is same as b multiply a. So this thing is true for all real numbers, as I said. So for instance, if suppose you consider one of the real number as variable only, say y, and other real number say 1. So if you have y plus 1, so by using commutative property, how you can write it as? See, what we did here in commutative property, what we were doing, we are just shifting the position, swapping the position, okay? So that's what we do. We change the position of y and 1. So we will write y first, 1 first, and then y. The sign is addition, so 1 plus y. By using commutative property, we can write it. Okay. So similarly, if I have 3x, it's multiplication. So how you will write? X multiply 3. See, it's understood when we have written like 3x, it means 3 multiply x. Okay. It's not mandatory to put the multiplications. Okay. If you have minus 2a, so it will be, so see here, since the negative sign is with 2, so you have to put this in a bracket. So how it will work? By using the commutative property, you can write it as a times minus 2. Okay? Or simply you can write it as a minus 2. It will be the same. Okay? I hope it's clear. Now, moving to the next property, associative property. Now again, as I said before, we are going to discuss this for addition and subtraction. So what is the difference in associative and commutative property is that in associative property, we were considering only two real numbers, but here we consider three real numbers. Let's say A, B, and C. So what the associative property states, this property says that if we add three real numbers in any order, the answer will be same. So what does they mean? They mean that if you add A plus B first, I say first, so it means I should put it in a bracket and then add C. So if you use the Bodmas rule, first you will be adding the bracket term and then you are adding the result to C. Okay. This or if we add B and C first and then add this result to A, the result, final result will be the same. So this is the associative property for addition. Okay. And the same thing holds for multiplication. Like if you multiply A and B first and you multiply the result to C, or you multiply B and C first and then you keep the result in multiply the result with A, you get the same output, okay, or the same final result, okay. So what you need to focus here is how this property is being applied. Is like you are changing the position of bracket. So on the left side, the bracket is with A and B. On the right side, the bracket is for B and C. The bracket position is changed. Similarly, here the bracket is between A and B. Now it's changed to B and C. We didn't change the order of the numbers. If A is first, B is second, and C is third, the position on the left side, the position remains same on the right side. A is first, B is second, and C is third. Okay, you can observe this in both the results. So be careful when you are using this property. So how the question comes? So sometimes they ask you to use the associative properties to complete the expression. Like if I give you like 11 plus 9, this is in a bracket, plus 14. So if I ask you use associative property to complete this. So you don't have to add all of this. Like don't add 11 plus 9 plus 14 and write the result. Okay. Instead, what you have to do, since you have to use associative property, what you have to do? What is the position of 11? First, 9 is second, and 14 is third. So keep the same position. 11 plus 9 plus 14. Why I put plus sign? Because all are plus. Now what I have to do? Check the position of bracket. It's between 11 and 9. So if it is in a first 2, I have to put it in second 2. So now I will put it in 9 and 14. And that's it. Okay. Let's take another example. If you write say 12 times 5 times 7. So associative property, what you will be doing? 12 order same. Multiply 5, multiply 7. You need to care about the position of bracket. Here it is in 12 and 5. So what you can do? 5 and 7. Okay, let's do one more. Suppose I write minus 6 plus 3 plus 8. So what you will do? First number is minus 6. Second number is plus 3. Third number is plus 8. So bracket is between minus 6 and 3. So now the bracket will be, yes, 3 and 8. Okay. Remember, before the bracket here, you should have an operator, because if you write plus 3, if you put the bracket here, so what happened? There is no operator between 6 and minus 6 and this. So which will be wrong. So this will be the correct one. Okay, clear? Let's move to the next property, distributive property. So in this property, we are going to use addition and multiplication together. So what the distributive property says, as the name says, distributive. So it means we have to distribute the operator, or you can say the numbers. So again, for distributive properties, we will be using three real numbers, A, B, C. These are real numbers. So first, let me write down the property. Property says that A multiply B plus C is equal to A multiply B plus A multiply C. So as the name says distributive, so what we did? We distributed A to B and C. So the multiplication is distributive over addition. So this order will remain same, like multiplication will get distributed over addition. So this is the distributive property. Sometimes they don't write A dot B, A dot C. They simply write AB plus AC. Some books, some authors use this because it's understood that there is no operator means it's multiplication. So for instance, like what you will have here is say 4 times of say x plus 8. Okay, let's take this an example. So here nothing means it's dot. So bracket means multiplication. So you distribute this 4 to both. So this gives you 4 times x plus 4 times 8. So which is 4x, and how much is 4 times 8? 32. So this is your result. Okay. Similarly, uh, you may have a negative number here. Say you have say minus r, or say minus 3, a plus 11. No need to worry. Follow the same thing. Distribute this, but keeping in mind the sign. So it will be minus 3 times a plus minus 3 times 11. So what it will be? 3 multiply a. There is only one negative sign, so minus 3a. 3 times 11 is 33. What will be the sign? Since it is plus and minus, this gives you minus. Okay, this will be your final answer. So sometimes what they do is, instead of writing the property in this way, they may give you the expression in, like, I'll explain it with the help of example. Like, they may give you the question as say 5 plus x times y. So what happened here? They changed the position. So no need to worry. Same thing. The term which is in multiplication will get multiplied with both. So this gives you 5 times y plus x times y. That is 5y plus xy. Okay, clear? So now let us see, like we have used these properties, commutative, associated, distributive, how we are going to use it for simplification. So for instance, you have an expression which you have to simplify by using commutative and associative property. So let's see, the question is say, uh, let's go for the simple one first. Say 5 over 6 plus 8 over 15 plus 7 over 15. Okay, this is the expression. These two terms in the bracket. Now, if you are going to solve this question, first you have to use the Bodmer's rule. Okay, so what the Bodmer's rule says, that it says that first open the bracket. So to open the bracket, you have to simplify this first. So here the denominators are different, 15 and 6. So it means you have to find the least common multiple and then you have to work on it. So it will be more time consuming. So instead of this, what you can do is you use here the associative property and change the position of bracket. Why you think of using the associative property? Because you see the denominator of second and the last term is same. So what happened here? If you use the associative property, by associative property, what you get? 5 over 6 plus 8 over 15 plus 7 over 15. What happened with the property? The position of bracket change. Now you have to simplify this term. Okay, the denominator is same. So you can easily add that. So this will give you 5 over 6 plus, when the denominator is same, what you will do? You write 15 and you just add the numerator. Okay, so how much is 8 plus 7? This gives you 5 over 6 plus 15 over 15. So this cancels to 1. Okay, 1, or you can write 1 over 1 because you need further simplification. So you know that the least common multiple for 6 and 1 will be 6, and then you multiply in the cross. Okay, so you get 5 plus 1 times 6. So this gives you 5 plus 6 over 6, that is 11 over 6. So it makes your calculation much easier. Okay. Similarly, let's take another example which include variables. Suppose you have, say, mm, let's see, minus 45a plus 15 plus 45a. Okay. And you have to think that which property you should use, commutative or associative. So as we don't see any brackets, so let's use commutative property first. If I apply commutative property on these two, what happens? The position gets changed. So what I will get? 15 plus minus 45a and then plus 45a. I mentioned plus minus because just to know that the sign remain changed. So I applied commutative property on these two, which we can write it as 15 minus 45a plus 45a. Okay. Now, when it comes to simplification, if you simplify these two, what are these things? These two are same terms but different side, opposite side. So you'll get 15 minus or plus. You can write 0. This gives you t. Okay.